everyone, it's Nathan here from Mighty Lancer Games, that's better. Welcome to this evening's stream. Hello to everybody in chat. Great news from Tony, some fantastic news about the puppy dog. Pete's redeemed a hydrate already. Hi Pete. Hi to everyone else in chat, Wicked D, Naz, Sharon, Tony, and anyone else that I might not see in the scrolling there. Welcome this evening. Happy Wednesday. Tonight I'm going to be doing a little bit of work on this Genie from Reaper Miniatures. He's from the Elemental Scions set and was part of Bones 5. So just before the stream started, I did his sword here using some Vallejo Model Air steel, my preferred steel colour. So we're going to give that a slightly bluish tint to it. And then also I'm going to be painting his upside down scale mail in... Oh, they're funky, I like those. Yeah, definitely like that. I'm going to be painting the scale mail with... I'm going to be painting it copper. So what I'm going to use for that is a combination of some Vallejo Model Air Rust, and then we're going to use some Army Painter True Copper over the top, because copper is something that we're a bit light on in our paint collection. So we're going to give it a base coat of this, which is really nice and smooth, and then I was going to give it a dry brush of this over the top. Is my intention, or well, say dry brush, might be more of a detailed brush on the edges. And then we've got a couple of bits that we're going to paint in gold, so for that I'm going to be using some Vallejo Game Air polished gold. I'm going to be painting that onto all the gold parts and then shading those and highlighting them appropriately. And then we're going to use Mrs. MLG's favourite gold, some Vallejo Model Colour Brass, which is actually a really nice gold, very similar to Games Workshop Retributor Armour, I think. Maybe just a little bit brighter, and I'm going to be using that for the lamp itself. So we're going to dive straight into Rust for the scale mail here. So I really like the air metallics from Vallejo. Haven't I? Sorry, everybody. I've just realised that I've made a little bit of a boo-boo earlier on, and I've managed to get some silver on his hat. Let's just touch that. Also did a little bit of a highlight around his hat, but you can't really tell because it was so subtle on that layer. It doesn't really look like anything at the moment, but I promise you there is a highlight there. So, I really like these Model Air Vallejo Air metallics. Really, really smooth. Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a funny noise, wasn't it? I dragged the microphone across, dragged it, and it's got like a rubber stopper on the bottom of it. So when it dragged across the desk, it made a strange kind of noise. Right then, so this rust colour, if you can see it on the palette there, looks very much like a true copper colour. So if you get a length of copper pipe that you've had stashed in the garage for a little while, this is the kind of colour that you could expect it to actually look at. So this is what we're going for, and then we're going to use the Army Painter Copper over the top as a bit of a highlight. So I'm not going to, because this guy's just come out of his lamp, we're not going to do any kind of verdigris or anything like that. He's obviously just come fresh out of the clouds. So all of his kit's going to be in great condition. I originally picked this rust paint up when I was starting work on my Brass Scorpion from Forge World, which I still haven't finished. Did say that I would try and get it finished this year, and I haven't yet. So I picked this up so I could use it on some of the brass areas around the weapon casings and other bits and pieces, and I brushed it on there to see how it would work. It's absolutely fantastic, and then I thought I'd try out a couple of other Vallejo air paints as brush on, and because they are so thin, because they're designed to go through the airbrush, they brush on really, really smoothly, and they're a joy to work with. And if you've watched the stream before, you'll know that the steel, I really like using Reaper's steel wash over the top of it, which is what we're going to be doing on this one. We're going to be blending a little bit of blue in with that wash, but essentially the same. I like using the steel that we've used on this sword here with the steel wash over the top, and then just a couple of very fine highlights to give a bright steel pattern for armour and weapons. I really can't fathom why this is the wrong way around, but seeing as it's a magical creature, I'm not going to give it too much thought. It is annoying me. It's not the right way around. I've probably given it far too much time already, to be fair. So you might notice that I've had a change of paintbrush. So after, and I am going to go back to my regular brush shortly, but we've got sent some samples before we decided that we were going to stock the Rosemary and Co brushes. We've got sent some samples, and this is one of those samples. This is one of the red dot brushes that I'm using here. But after 7 months of use, and every day for 7 months even, my trusty Green Stuff World brush has developed a bit of a hook on the end, so it doesn't get used for quite as much painting as it has been doing, because the hook is a little bit annoying, and I've tried giving it a clean. Unfortunately, it's just not having it. So hi Moxie, hi Veman Aqua, thanks for joining us. Sup guys? I like the that reminds me of that old, was it Budweiser, wasn't it? What's I don't know why I've suddenly got a desire for chocolate. I don't know if it's the colour of this making me think it's a bit like
it is a bit chocolatey.
A bit like the colour of a Galaxy wrapper.
Because Budweiser's not going to make you want a chocolate.
No.
Well, we ain't got any, so you're out of luck.
Yeah.
Out of luck. What's Wicked D put in? Dark Knight. Why have you all got Batman and Harley Quinn emotes? Where are they from? What have you been secretly watching to get new emotes? Let us in. They must be new ones. Why are they available to everyone? Ooh, let's have a look.
Awesome. Is that because they've put out an official...
Oh, yeah!
They've put out an official new trailer for Batman, so...
Ah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Some kind of community...
yeah.
promo.
You watched the trailer for new Batman. What did you think?
Yeah. I'm not sure that Twinkly Vampire Guy is going to be a good enough Batman.
Twinkly Vampire Guy.
Well, isn't that what he's from?
Yeah, it was just the way you said it. Twinkly Vampire Guy.
Well, yeah,
But if you didn't know he was Twinkly Vampire Guy, do you if you put that movie out of your mind, have you ever actually watched it?
No.
No, neither have I. But if you put that kind of, do you think the trailer looks any good?
Yeah, it looks okay. He looks very young, doesn't he? He looks very young. I'm disappointed, if I'm honest. I'm disappointed that they didn't make a follow-up movie to the last Christian Bale film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a Batman or Nightwing type character. I think that was a real kind of miss. It set it up perfectly for him to follow on, and they could have had the Riddler as the bad guy, or the Penguin as the bad guy in that scenario. But to reboot the franchise again with a completely different actor, I think is a big mistake. And I know that they were going to do a Ben Affleck Batman movie, weren't they? That was the plan, based out of the Justice League Batman versus Superman universe. And for whatever reason, they decided not to go ahead with Ben Affleck, or Ben Affleck decided that he didn't want to do it anymore. I just think that's a shame. I think it's a shame. They missed the opportunity, really. They spent the whole film setting him up to be Robin, and then didn't follow through. So there you go. I really like Batman as well.
You see, Wicked D doesn't have him as Twinkly Vampire Guy. She has him as Cedric Diggory.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm probably very much alone in this, but I much prefer the Batmans and the James Bonds and stuff when they were just a bit daft, when they didn't take themselves quite so dark and seriously, and they were just a bit silly, like the 90s type ones with Catwoman and all that malarkey. I much prefer those kind of things, and everything has to be really dark and dingy, and then a massive explosion just to light the screen up because you can't really see what's going on.
We had a conversation the other day about having, I think it was in the shop, and we were talking about Batman and how I think we all agreed that we would like to see a Batman movie with Michael Keaton. Now he's older, doing like a really old, well, not really old because he ain't that old, is he? But an old Batman would be cool with original Michael Keaton thing. Maybe drag Jack Nicholson back to do the Joker. That'd be cool. How old's that? That's gonna be like 30 years ago, right?
No, because like the 90s was only 5 years ago, so I mean it's not that long ago. Background.
Yeah, I know that they tried to make in the Batman Superman. They tried to make Ben Affleck a bit older, didn't they?
That Batman Superman film was just the worst film ever made ever, and should just be confined to the dump.
It was pretty bad.
Never get that time in my life again that you made me watch that drivel. So what are you painting?
So I'm gonna use the brass, the Vallejo model color brass, and we're just gonna paint in the lamp.
Press the wrong button. Pete says hydrate. And also,
There we go. Moxie's put a good post in there.
Alright.
So he's going to appear as older Batman when Flash travels through time or something? Is that the idea? I don't know. I wasn't aware of the Flash movie because I've never really been that bothered about the other Justice League characters. Like, I was never really overly bothered about the other... I haven't forgotten about the stretch and the hydrate and things, but I'll just finish basing this lamp. But yeah, a bit like the Avengers. I was never really that bothered about the other Avengers, apart from I really like Captain America. Okay. As you might be able to tell, because I'm wearing a Captain America t-shirt.
But what's your Captain America t-shirt say then? What's your Captain America t-shirt say?
It says Captain America learnt from my daddy.
And you've got to put a wig on. So you need to drink, stretch, put a wig on, put a hat on.
Okay.
Multiverse, if you watch the Flash trailer, he is teased at the end. And do a posture check. So you might as well just stop painting a minute.
Anyway, no, I'll just finish doing this.
Oh dear. Hat me was technically first. Alright, then you got to put a hat and then balance a wig on top of Baron.
Okay. Right, what are we doing? Hydrate.
Hydrate and then stretch. And then put a hat on. Oh, hang on, he's still stretching. Oh, you should have a yawn button.
Right.
Put a hat on, then a wig, and then check your posture's alright. Maybe just check on your sanity as well while you're there.
I have got a hat on underneath this wig, honest.
Okay.
Sanity check. Pinch myself, yeah. Cool, definitely still here. Right then, what was I doing? We're gonna go for very fetching. I think so. Right, we're gonna go for some Vallejo polished gold, and for this, or with this, I'm going to be doing the belt area and the shoulder guard, and also the his wrist. In fact, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do those copper. So in fact, we'll do that first. So do these bits copper. So I'm going to do this and this in copper, and then we're going to do the shoulder guard, this bit on his hat, his bit on his belt here, and his necklace with the gold. Oh, and also the sword. Okay, loads of gold. But first of all, copper. Did I tell you what paintbrush I was using? So this is a Rosemary & Co. Red Dot Synthetic Zero brush, and just giving it a try out. They're not suitable for everybody, I guess. Like, not going to be to everybody's taste. Mrs. MLG couldn't get on with it. You tried using this one first, didn't you? And couldn't really get on with it. But I've persevered, and I've done a little bit with it. I must say I do prefer because it's a synthetic brush, kind of handles a little bit differently. The bristles react a little bit differently.
Yeah, but that's not why I didn't like it, because my Umbral ones are synthetic, aren't they? Or are they not?
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, they're only £1.9p. They're not going to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Colour row. I'll have to have a look. I'll look it up. Well, WikiD says that wig hat combination you have going on looks like one of those hats the Italian soldiers had in the war.
Oh, yeah.
The guy on Hello Hello used to have one. Antonia Grays.
With all the feathers and stuff in. So this is Vallejo Model Air Rust that I am using here. So it's labelled as a rust colour, but I would say that it really should be like natural copper or something like that, because it's I mean, it really could be almost fresh copper because it's quite bright.
Yeah, my Humbrol brushes, my Coloro Humbrol brushes are made from man-made fibres.
Right.
So it's not that I'm used to using animal product brushes.
Right.
Just, I don't know, it just split and I couldn't get it back to being a point. But then you've been fine with it, haven't you? So it must just be my painting style. Maybe I was being a bit too rough. It would be about right, wouldn't it? But I am currently using a paintbrush with no markings on, which I thought was from one of the starter sets from Games Workshop. But Mr. MLG reliably informs me that it is a layer brush from Games Workshop, and it arrived at the shop without any printed markings on it, so we couldn't sell it. And this is really cool. I'm really quite enjoying this one.
Good.
But I can't even tell you what size it is because it doesn't say.
Yeah, and I can't remember. So. No. So I think that this is a medium layer brush. Looking at it. There we go.
Because it's got such a big belly, it likes to soak paint up.
Yeah.
So it's doing all right, really, so far.
There we go. Cool. Yeah, and they are real hair brushes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why they did they brought out the white brushes, the STC brushes, because they are fully synthetic. But your one that you're using there is, I don't know what, because they've never advertised what they are, but they've just said that they are.
So that's new for me then,
brushes.
isn't it? New for me using a non-synthetic, but I can really tell the difference, and I didn't know it was. So it's strange. Oh, it's quite good. Tony says it looks like a medium.
Right then. So copper done. We'll move on to the gold. Yeah, definitely. I really like the Rosemary and Co. The 22 and the 33s. Yeah. Can I take this off yet? Yeah, it's warm.
Well, they only did 7 minutes ago and you didn't do it straight away.
No, I'll leave it on for a minute or two. Yeah, the 733 and the 22. The only thing I think I said before is that I would just prefer the handles to just be a little bit chunkier. So what I am going to do is I'm going to try out. So I've got, when we got the samples, we got this Series 98, which is this like triangular handle. But because I wanted to try out a range of different hairs, we've got that one as a 2.0 and it's really small. And we also got a 2.0 in the Series 101, which is a really nice big chunky handle. And they are pure sable as well. So what I was thinking was that I might try like a number 2 in one of these, because I do like a chunkier handle. Got used to that. To try out, because I really like these Green Stuff World ones, but we haven't got any of these left now in the shop. This is the last one, and it's got this hook on the end that I can't get rid of. So Rosemary and Co might have to be the ones. So let's get back to painting some gold. Gold, 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 gold. Always believe in you.
What is that?
That's the song, innit?
Well, if that was a song, darling, then I'm glad I didn't marry you for your vocal abilities.
What, you mean you didn't?
I didn't. I really didn't. I appreciate you trying.
It's a good job we didn't have karaoke at the wedding.
It's a very good job we didn't have karaoke at the wedding, and also we did quite well with our live band. I think that was better than karaoke. You can probably take your wig off now though if you're getting a bit wild.
So, Vallejo Game Colour. Polished gold is what we're currently using. So just going to paint this onto this grinning face on his belt buckle. It's lovely. And only used this one a couple of times, and it is a little thinner even than the others. So I gave it a really good shake up earlier before we started. It was a little thinner, and this might take a couple of coats to get a really nice solid coverage, but I would rather do that than risk having it too thick and then it looking a bit weird. So the plan with this is we'll give it like a couple of thin coats while we work around the rest of the model, and then we'll give it a little wash with some Raiklin Flesh Shade from Games Workshop. Ooh, what's that? Wow, thanks Moxie. Thank you. Wowzers. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Moxie. Right then. So, a couple of thin coats of this over, and then we're going to give it a little wash with some Raiklin Flesh Shade, and then we'll come back and we will highlight up over the top. But the Raiklin Flesh Shade will just give it a little bit of kind of rosy depth to the gold. Work around this belt area. You might see me sticking my tongue out while I concentrate. Tried and tested method of concentration.
So when we get the new puppy then, are we going to give him a paintbrush and see how good he is at painting?
Yeah, why not?
Is it going to be 3 paints Tuesday and we've all got a screen?
Yeah, we'll see see if we can get him trained to do some masterpieces.
Can paint all the terrain with his tail.
Whippy little tails that they had when we went in. He's so cute. Still just working around with some of this gold, just on the different bits. I'm not quite sure if this bit that I'm doing here is leather or gold on the Reaper version, but I'm doing it as gold, so he's got like a big kind of wrestling prize belt kind of thing. That's the only way I can, like a strongman's belt kind of thing going on around his waist.
Tony says paw print stippling. Yeah.
Right then, so we've got that done in gold. Going to just pick out this. In fact, I might switch to a smaller brush for that section. What am I going to go for? We're going to go for our Green Stuff World 00, just to do this necklace thing that he's got going on here. I'll lift him up a little bit closer.
And then I'll try and make it so that you can see him.
Oh, sorry.
Right down.
Okay. For rolling backwards a little bit, is that better? Yeah. What? Right, cool. And then I'm also going to do this bit on his hat. So I think that the central piece there, he's got this kind of like rosette thing going on. But I think I'm going to do the middle of that as a pearl. I'm going to do that as like pearlescent white. Use some of the Green Stuff World Mystic White on there, I think. With a golden setting around the outside. I think that's the plan.
So, Wicked D says... Wicked D says that Eri is watching and now knows that we are getting a puppy. So that means that when they come round to play Pathfinder, they'll have to contain themselves from not just playing with Puppy, but actually playing Pathfinder. We'll have to make him a character, Eri, so that he can play with us. We're not getting him yet, though. He's not old enough yet. But yeah, there'll be lots of there'll be lots of puppy play opportunities for you. Certainly, I'll have to bring him round as well so that you can see. Don't worry, you won't miss out. Lots of puppy play opportunities.
Still golden. I've got this sword pommel and hilt to do, and then also his shoulder guard, and then really I need to go around and do them all again a second time just to make sure that the colour's nice and bright.
So what's made you pick that gold then?
Oh, I just like it, I think, is the only answer I can give you. So I knew that I wanted to do the lamp with the brass, but I wanted the lamp to look different to the genie. I also have some another gold that I really like, which is the Dark Star Royal Gold, which I've got over here. But that is a very yellowy gold compared to this, and I really wanted it to be a little bit paler. So that is why we're going with this one. And because I wanted it to look like it was new and shiny, so I decided not to go for the Vallejo Old Gold, which I have used before. You'll see. Pardon me. So just working around this, and then I'm just going to concentrate on getting these metallics done to some degree this evening. Finished off by the end of the month. Once again, I've miserably failed to fulfill many of my painting projects by the end of the month.
the 20th. You've got loads of time.
Yeah, I know. Oh, no! Oh, what?
What have you done? What have you done,
I've just
darling?
painted all of his hat.
He dropped him in the
dropped
paint.
him in the gold.
Oh no! Wicked D says she's gone from dolphin level of Skrill to supersonic. Puppy has a TikTok as well, so you can keep an eye on him on there. Which is currently a bit light on content because he's not here yet. But yeah, we made him his own TikTok so that the gaming one can actually have games in it rather than just Puppy.
Sorry, everybody. Wow.
Oh, that was silly sausage of you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you all right?
No, that's ruined my evening.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to repaint his.
Sharon says that sums up my week, Nathan.
Yeah.
You weren't having the best of days to start with, were you, darling?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to repaint his entire hat now. Gonna have to repaint the entire hat.
So what lesson have we learnt? Maybe don't paint over the top of wet paint.
I know, but his hat, I'd find it easier to keep me in the middle of the screen to paint, have the paint in the middle, kind of gives me a target to stick to.
Are you going to hold him up so we can all see what you've done?
Yeah, well, I've tried to wipe it off, but it's just smeared gold flecks all over his hat, so I'm going to end up repainting his entire hat.
You could say it's a look. It's like a gold, like shiny splatter that you go in for, like a cosmic hat.
Glittery.
Yeah, is that why you're painting right at the bottom of the screen now?
Yeah.
Moxie says, right, I'm back. What have I missed? You've missed Nathan chucking his miniature across the table and all through his wet palette paint, and is now sulking slightly at the fact that happened. That's what happened there.
Yeah, it could have been worse, I guess. It could have gone on his skin, because then I would have had to start again from white on his skin. But... Oh, gee whiz. Let's just get rid of that.
Make them into little gold stars on the turban. He's a genie. He should be exquisite fabrics. I think it does look a bit like, it's supposed to be like that. If you'd have tried to paint it in that such random pattern, you never would have made it. You never would have managed it. No. Yeah, that's it, Tony. RuPaul Genie. That's what you want. To work it. Shantae, you stay.
Yeah, we do like watching a bit of Drag Race.
What colours are you using now, my darling?
I'm going to go around the mini again using the gold. Give those areas that I did a minute ago in a second coat, just to brighten them up a little bit.
So how come it fell off the thing?
It's because it's a moulded Reaper base, and wasn't it? No, it's because I was shuffling it around, wasn't it? I'm pressing against it with my finger to hold myself, give myself a little bit of bracing against it. It's my own fault.
What can we do to cheer you up?
Don't know. You'll have to give me a kiss after the stream.
I'll put lovely emotes in
Yeah.
chat to cheer you up. Yeah, he'll be blaming me next, Tony. Tony says, blue tack is a random present. Yeah, because I've got the blue tack. That's what mine's held in with. You've got your own blue tack somewhere, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a big blob stuck on the wall here. I could have been using the blue tack, but it was...
Can you hear the disappointment in his voice now?
What's the matter? Nothing.
Nothing, you're not telling us.
Yeah, it's alright, because I've got to repaint the other bit of red, so having to touch this bit up is not the end of the world, is it?
Come on, you're doing so well. Come on. Deep breaths. Why don't you have a nice stretch?
Let me just finish this. Oh, and I haven't even started on his shoulder guard yet. Oh, thanks, Wicked Dave.
Don't drop him from up there, he'll definitely be breaking.
Oh, I've got hold of him. He's not going anywhere now.
What else you got to tell me
I don't know. It's nearly Halloween.
Yeah, we've not even decorated.
Yeah, I've started today.
Yeah, we've normally decorated the shop by now, but we're so far behind that we haven't even decorated the shop.
No, we need to decorate the shop, and I need to get the show racks ready.
And you got to make some boxes.
And some boxes.
It's amazing how fast that comes round.
We've got the stock for the boxes there.
I know, just need to make them up. You have to get the boys to make the boxes up. It's amazing how fast each end of month comes. So we'll be making sub boxes up again. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It'll soon be the end of the month. And Puppy will soon be here.
Halloween, fun day.
We've got quite a lot on.
We've got loads.
Family-wise coming up. We've got a show to go to with our friends. And that's going to be fun and also a bit scary since I haven't been out to any entertainment things for such a long time. But it is a family show, so it's not like drinking and jumping up and down and stuff. And just sat in some seats watching a nice entertainment on the stage. And then we've got Halloween Fun Day. And you've got a trade show.
Fiasco.
Leeds Armories. Yeah, that's going to be good, isn't it? Which you need to get ready for, but that's going to be cool. Loads of stuff. Nothing happens and then everything all at once. Wicked D says, my eye beast isn't staying still while I dry brush him. Is he trying to run away? Sharon says, I'm no longer using the handles. Only use them for tiny minis. See, I like the handles, but because I mainly only ever paint Reaper and not Games Workshop, my minis are always wedged in with nearly the whole packet of blue tack. But I like them, so then I don't have to touch the minis. Oh, don't mention how quick time passes. It's my age, I have to. It's what happens. When you're younger, you never say it, and as you get older, you say it because, well, it's true, isn't it? Tony says, I still use blue tack minis to milk bottle tops as a handle. Yes, we used to use corks before we got the handles. And again, it was one of those things where I said to Mr. MLG, well, what on earth do we need a painting handle for? We've got a cork and it's perfectly good. And then we use the handles and it's like, actually the handles are pretty awesome. They're just right to twist the mini around in your fingers. These new ones, just right to twist your mini around in your fingers. And have to admit, I do rather like my painting handle. my Games Workshop, what is it, 2.0 painting handle.
Yeah.
Mickey D says it's wibbly wobbling all over the show. Ah, yes, it's an older Reaper sculpt, isn't it? It's not very sturdy on its dangly bits. Yes. The typical iBeast problems. Goes to his therapist. I'm not very sturdy on my dangly bits. Yeah. How did you do the iBeast, or was it me?
You.
Me. That doesn't bode well, does it? I was going to ask you if yours was wibbly wobbly, but seeing as how I painted it, there's no point in asking you. Can't even see it. Can't even see what I've done with it. What have I done with it?
No idea, darling.
No idea. Oh, you're so funny.
Thought you might like that one.
You didn't even say it on purpose. You're just going to claim it now as something that you said. No, I can't say it. I don't even know what colour I painted it. I heard pork instead of cork and I was confused. Oh, sorry, Sharon. That's my horrendous way of talking. Yes, a cork, like a wine cork out of a... So Mister would drink the wine out of the bottle and then I'd get the cork. Fair trade, I think. Honestly, it's archery. I know. I'm sorry, Wicked. It was so long ago that I did it. That's what I'm going for. I've been painting this singing woman for such a long time now. And Pete would like you to hydrate. Everybody hydrate. Everybody have a nice drink of whatever you have and keep healthy and hydrated along with us. Can't be letting Pete's hydrates go to waste on only Mr. MLG. Get that drink down, yeah?
Yeah. Just need to get into that little nook and cranny there before we get back to round.
I only have paint water. Okay, don't drink the paint water. Don't drink the paint water.
Hydrate, Wicked D. Hydrate.
Yeah, Eric could get you a drink. He could say, Pete says that you've got to get me a drink. There could be lots of opportunities now, couldn't they? Oh, you've got to get me a drink, otherwise you can't see the puppy. No, that would be cruel. I wouldn't do that. That would be cruel. How's it going then, darling?
Yeah, super. So, I'm just going to give this shoulder guard a second little going over before we get some washes out. In fact, what I might do before we wash on the shoulder guard and the other gold bits, because we want them to have a little bit more time to dry, is I might do the highlighting on the... In fact, what I'm going to do before I do any of that, I'm going to put the wash on the sword and then we're going to sort the copper out. I took my kids to pick out a Halloween costume for Fun Day. My little girl had a choice of witches, vampires, zombies, but she went with DC's Batgirl. And my boy went with a cheap dome-looking mirror mask from Morrison's. Awesome. Kids are ready, so.
I remember once you were working quite late and we were going to a friend's Halloween party. This was, when we were teenagers, a long time ago. Early 20s and stuff, and we were all dressed up and everything, but you were working, so you couldn't be bothered to think of a Halloween costume, so you just cut 2 holes in a white sheet and came as a ghost.
Yep. Certainly did. Certainly did.
Demon Aqua says we need new choices to spend points on. Why is that then? There's loads of choices. There's posture check, hat me, hydrate, say my name, ask us a question, stretch, and wig me. That's like a million choices. What on earth could you need extra, Demon Aqua? What sort of thing could you possibly want? I think Little Miss might have had the Batgirl costume at some point.
Yeah, I think she has had a Batgirl.
Is it pink and black? Maybe, or maybe just the cape. Maybe just the cape. She doesn't really like wearing costumes, to be fair. A super hydrate. What would a super hydrate involve, Pete?
She definitely had a face mask to go with her cape because we found it while we were tidying up the other day. Right then, so I've mixed some traditional hex pot Citadel blue ink. Had this for a long time. Does it have a date on it? Made in France. No, doesn't have a date on, but that's got to be 20 years old. Anyway, so I've mixed a little bit of that in with Mask Me, says Wicked D. Mixed a little bit of that in with the Reaper Steel Wash. Just as an experiment, because we can, I'm going to try putting that over his sword. What I would like Games Workshop to do, and I don't know if they might have any plans to do it in the thing. So they did the extra large painting handles, and the old painting handles were a lot chunkier, weren't they? I can't see one to demonstrate my point. No, can't reach one. So the old painting handles were a lot chunkier in the body, but what I would like is the new style painting handle like this that I find really easy to roll around in my fingers, but with the jaws that would open a bit wider. So the reason this guy leapt out is because I've got some here. I will get some in a sec. Is because the jaws for like the lower tier don't open wide enough to accommodate his base horizontally there, and I had him in the top, and it's not quite a tight enough fit. So because I was pressing against it, it's forced him out because the bevel on the base is demolishing.
I think you should have
the Space Marines that I've just spent like 2 days building.
If you were a reward point of see how far you can fling the Genie at this rate.
Yeah. So gonna get some blue tack.
Yeah, just messing about.
Great blob of blue tack. Yeah.
Moxie says he went all out and got a skull mask with fancy flashing lights. That does sound fancy.
Awesome.
Mask Me could be a new one. Do a lame dad joke. We don't actually. I only know one joke, and it is rubbish. But it's not even equivalent of a dad joke. It's just rubbish. And you probably don't know any jokes at all, do you?
No.
Especially if it's a Mexican wrestling mask. You just want to cover up his beautiful face. Paint blindfolded. Well, that might be a little extreme. I mean, if you don't like us painting, we could do a stream where we just sit and talk to you. We don't. You know?
I'll just sit and wrestle with my mini for an hour. That'd be good viewing. Right. See if that's a little bit more rigid in there. Right, so I'm going to use my mix. My steel wash and blue ink mix on his sword.
Sharon says, I should honestly leave. It's my bad influence making you drop things. No, honestly, it's not. It's his clumsiness making him drop things, and he's not listening to his wife when she tells him to use blue tack that's making him drop things. That's what it is. That's a very strong blue.
It is, isn't it?
Well, that ink is really strong, though.
Yeah, and then I've mixed it with the
wash. Why don't you put some medium in it and make it more washy?
Oh no!
Are you happy? Is that what colour you wanted?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see what this is like, and then lighten it up from here. Yeah, I'm quite liking that. Vibrant. So I have built some more of my Black Templars, the mixed squad, the Crusader squad. But they haven't got heads yet. They haven't all got their heads glued on because I want some more of the like knight style helms that they have, and you don't get enough in the kit really. So I would like to give them a little bit more consistency with the head choices.
I would spend points making you do dumbbell curls. What are dumbbell curls? Is that like a weight thing?
Yeah.
We're not even owning dumbbells. You'd have to use tins of beans. Tins of beans curls.
Yeah.
I just want to see your gun show.
Yeah, we could get the patented Mighty Lance Games table height adjusters and use those.
That's what you've been eating then.
I did eat some the other day. Mixed them in with that, chicken tea.
Showing your guns off now.
Subconsciously showing off my guns. Oh, yeah, mate.
You're right. We have a chat room full of very naughty grown-ups who are bad influences. It's very true. Very true. We're all very naughty and need to go sit on the naughty step.
Right, so we're going to get some Army Painter True Copper. Never really used this a great deal, if I'm honest. So I've been giving this a real good shake up as well. I've done it. Done it now, thank you, beautiful. So I just want to test it against that and see what it's like. It's really similar, actually. Maybe a little bit brighter. So we're gonna paint a little bit of this on and see. In fact, I'll do it on that knee pad first, and we'll see how much brighter it is. Hopefully, some. Also, last night I can give you a review of Black Widow. Watched that last night. If has anybody else seen Black Widow on Disney Plus or went to the cinema to watch it? What's that?
They look like me. Little me's floating around. I've got more pink in my hair though.
What's the little caption on that when you hover over it?
I think it's we don't say Thomas is not
So
give your opinion without giving away spoilers.
yeah, no spoilers, but yeah. I would give it 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. Lots of overindulgent views of Scarlett Johansson's bottom.
That's why I thought you wanted to watch it.
No, I thought it might.
Watched it all on your own with a bowl of popcorn, didn't you? Bless you.
Yeah.
How long are you streaming for? Just out of
just
just wondering.
What we're doing? Yeah, so I'll finish the copper, and then we'll call it a night.
Hi, Asma. This is a bad juju week, as my wife would remind me. Mercury is just coming out of retrograde full moon. Yeah. Have we all just got to stay inside and hide for a bit then?
Yeah.
Is that why I came to the shop and told you off earlier?
Well, because it's a bad juju month.
Yeah. Well, I've not been for ages, have I?
No. That's why I was kind of hoping that you would ring me and say that you were ready to be collected.
But I didn't. I came and surprised you and told you what an absolute tip the place was.
And then you won't come and tell me off. Yeah. Well, it's fine. It needs doing.
It does need
But
doing.
there are other things that I'm going to have to get on with. But
The upside down scales still bother Mr. Emoji as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
How was Ray Winston's American accent, Moxie says?
Bye, Tony.
Thank you, Tony. Take a paintbrush out of my mouth. Thank you, Tony.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I was telling one of the guys today. We were having a discussion about it, I think, like, with the amount of available Russian actors, oh, what was that?
Oh, we're being rated.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us.
You're not talking about what you're doing now.
Yeah, welcome to our stream this evening, Reaper Raiders. I'm Mr. MLG, and this evening I am painting this wonderful Genie from Reaper Miniatures, the Elemental Scions set. How are you all this fine evening?
I wonder what time it is there, though.
Yeah, what time is it in Reaper Land?
It's 9 o'clock at night here, and you're painting genies, and I'm painting Madame Delia, but you can't see me. And we're currently talking about the Black Widow film.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that Nathan can tell you all about the paints that he is using and what he's doing now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm painting the upside down scales on the Genie's coat here, which I've decided to do in copper. So I base coated them using some Vallejo Model Air rust, and now I'm just applying a little bit of Army Painter True Copper over the top, because we don't really have a lot of copper colours in our cupboard, and this is what we've got. So I did think about using, we have got the Reaper non-metal metal copper triad, but I've tried and failed with non-metal metal copper a couple of times, so I figured that I would just go with the standard metallics for it.
And we were just talking about the film.
Oh yeah, so that's how I was just saying that despite the fact that there are lots of fine Russian actors available, we had to get the guy who's the sheriff in Stranger Things to be a Russian superhero, and then Rachel Weisz, that famous Russian actress, to be Russian, and also Ray Winston to be Russian. Yeah. Awesome.
So you'd only give it 6 out of 10?
I'd give it 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 for Black Widow, I'm afraid. Sorry if anybody really loved it. Just think it was not the greatest. But then I think there's quite a few of the Avengers films, and they're kind of sub films that I wouldn't give a massive amount of time to.
Beam and Aqua loves the Stranger Things show.
We couldn't really get on with it, could we?
No, we didn't give it much chance, though, did we? But yeah, we had a go, and that was it.
I know it's really popular. A lot of people really love it, but it's and despite the fact that the themes of the show should be well within my area of like things I like, yeah, I just couldn't get on with it. Couldn't get on with it from what we watched. But then it might be a bit like The Witcher. You might have to watch it a couple of times to get the most out of it.
And Beam and Aqua still wants you to do some dumbbell curls. I don't know why. Why do you want him to do dumbbell curls, Beam and Aqua? I don't think he's ever done dumbbell curls in his life.
No.
Look at it, says, funny that they should use Sergeant Hopper to play a Russian when it was the Russians he was taken by in Stranger Things. We wouldn't know that was funny, though, I don't think.
No.
Moxie says, my boy loves Stranger Things. I love the 80s vibe of it. What else do we like on telly? What were we watching? What were we watching the other day? Madame Blanc.
Oh yeah,
Madame Blanc
like
Mysteries.
a new
which is really quite niche for our nonsense that we watch. And of course, we all know that we love Taskmaster. Because, you know. And Little Miss has started watching Taskmaster from the beginning again for the 4th time. So we're on series 1 again. So that's always fun. What are you using now?
So I'm just going to get some Dragon Red and sort his hat out where I splattered gold all over it earlier on. So if you've just joined us, if you've come from the Reaper raid, or if you've just joined us, earlier on I managed to flick this guy out of the painting handle and he landed head down in the gold paint on the palette. And unfortunately his hat is now all gold. So just going to go back over it with the Dragon Red that I used to base coat it, and just hide that gold splattering a little, which very frustrating because I've just spent, just before we started streaming this evening, I just spent about 15 minutes doing several layers of very subtle highlighting on this hat. So now I'm gonna have to do it all over again, but never mind.
Remarco says you have to do dumbbell curls because that way Mighty Lancer can look more minty. You're quite minty, aren't you? Yeah, quite minty as it is. He's a lot stronger than he looks. Aren't you? Yeah. You'll have to do a comparison. You'll have to show your guns off and see if your tattoo makes your arms look bigger or smaller.
People haven't come to.
Beamer Aqua wants to see.
Flexing. Yeah, that's right. So just hiding this gold splatter. Unfortunately, I tried wiping it off, but obviously that's not always the greatest way to rescue a mini when you've made a mess of it. There we go. That should do for now.
Sharon's got a good question for you.
Just have to go back and sort that out after. Weird question. Any particular reason for the name of the shop? Yes. So, yes and no. So when I was in my early 20s, I had a crack at selling a few bits and pieces on eBay and online, and the name of my store at the time was Mighty Lancer Games, and I can't remember why it came around that time.
You said to me when we got the shop, and you just knew that the name of the shop was going to be Mighty Lancer, and there was no real discussion about it. That's just what the shop was called. And I asked you the same question that Sharon's asking you, like why? That's, you know, a bit random. And you said that since you were little and you've liked playing games and Games Workshop and Dungeons and Dragons and all the rest of it, it's always just been the name that you wanted to call your shop. And because you were so little when you first thought of it, you can't quite remember why, but that has just always been the name that you would have given a game shop that you always wanted. And now you have it, so it's like your little like boyhood dream come true.
Well, there you go.
Is what you told me.
Yeah, well that's it then. Isn't it?
But yeah, I mean it is a strange name, isn't it? Mighty Lancer.
Yeah,
but maybe because you used to do LARPing and all sorts of things, didn't you? So maybe it also developed from all that kind of era, from enjoying like nights and things.
Yeah. I read lots of stores have different, like some really funky names, and I read earlier on about a store that literally is called the FLGS. Yeah, the friendly local game store. And I thought, well, that's quite interesting. But yeah, loads of stores with loads of really cool, like quirky names and stuff. So just does set us apart, I guess, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
there isn't going to be another Mighty Lancer games anywhere unless somebody's decided to rip us off.
But the only problem with it is it's quite long, so any
Yeah.
signage that we've had to buy is like, oh, it's so much a letter, and we're like, oh, there's quite a lot of letters
Yeah.
in our name. Or if I have to
17
make,
characters.
yeah, if I have to make a social media account, it never fits because there's always too many letters.
Yeah.
And then also, MLG is some kind of major league thing in America, some kind of game in America, maybe baseball or something, I'm not sure, as I'm not in America. So sometimes when our hashtags are used, the hashtags that we use also represent them as well, so that can be funny sometimes when I'm trying to search for stuff. Yeah, Sharon says it's cool and also funny that you don't remember. Can you have what, my darling?
Could I have the Raiklin flesh shade, please?
Have I got that?
Yeah.
I have. Look, it's there. Look
Thank
at
you
me.
very much. So I've used Vallejo Game Air polished gold. So we did a couple of coats of that on all the gold areas on the model, and now we're going to go over the top of those with some Raiklin flesh shade from Citadel Miniatures. So this is one of the smaller sized pots that you get in the starter sets, the paint starter sets. If you buy one of those from any reputable, friendly local game store, or indeed Games Workshop themselves, you will get one of these little pots, and they're very handy. So you get small sized pots of Nuln Oil and Agrax Earthshade, and in this case Raiklin Flesh Shade. But generally you'll get this in a 24ml pot, which is a lot more devastating when you spill it on the table. So this gives the gold. So here I'm putting it over. I painted the lamp with some Vallejo brass. But if you paint this over the top of your golds, it gives them a lot more rosy, kind of reddy colour once it dries. Gives it a good shade. And then you can go back over the top, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to shade it a little bit with this. I'm not going to lay it on too thick. I'm going to spread it around a little bit, and that'll give it a nice rosy tone. And then we'll go back over and we'll highlight it up on the raised areas, just to make it really sparkle.
So is this for your Reaper Challenge League trio, duo?
This is trio with Sharon and Deathly.
And is this the last one? Have you done your duo?
Yes, I've done my duo. My duo was with Wicked D, and that was the Eldritch Demon.
Ah, yes. Oh, so you're doing alright then this month?
Yeah, so I've got these two.
Hi, Chungstone!
And then, hi! Got these two, and then we did the Griffin the other night, didn't we? So, Griffin can be my monster, because that wasn't for any particular thing. It's a bit too much paint in that brush. Be putting on there next to his skin.
What are you doing for our Discord large group for the RCL then?
When does that have to be finished by?
Oh, that's like the 3-month thing. Don't worry about that. I just wondered
right.
if you knew.
Oh yeah, I'm doing. I don't know if I can move a. Yeah, there we go. I'm doing this lady, Lurien the Ghost, who I've had ready to be painted for a long time.
That's what I'm doing this for.
Yeah. So she's going to be my Victorian. Is it Victorian? Victorian Gothic themed mini. So she's a ghost. I've had her ready for action for a while. I was going to paint her for the undead theme and never finished her. Never did her. Every time I say anything kind of like slightly innuendo-ish, I just hear Al in my head. So we've used some rust. Oh, and the sword. I need to go back and do the sword. That's almost dry now. So the sword we did with Vallejo Model Air steel, and then gave it a combined wash of Games Workshop blue ink, which was the classic hex pot blue ink, and also mixed in with that a little bit of pardon? A little mixed in with that a little bit of Reaper steel wash, and that's kind of giving it this blue colouring, this nice blue colouring over it. So we're going to go back and give that a bit of a highlight up. Moxie's got a question. What's Moxie's question? Sorry about the random question, but do you stock extruded polystyrene? For terrain building, Moxie, are you thinking like or do you mean like sort of what's the right word? Profiles of different stuff. So we have plasticard and we have sort of girder section type stuff and other bits and pieces, but we don't have like the spongy type stuff that you would use for building terrain. Yeah, no, unfortunately we don't. We have had some in the past, but the best place that I could advise you to go, depending on how much you wanted or whatever, is to go to eBay, and don't look under model making for it. You want to go under building supplies and look for underfloor heating insulation, and you can generally get fairly reasonable amounts for quite affordable money.
But if you look under model making, it'll be double the price.
Absolutely, yeah. You'll see some people are selling it in A4 packs and what have you, and all they've done is they've gone and got a 4 foot by 2 foot sheet from a builder's merchants and chopped it down. But if you went to MKM or any of the other builders merchants in town, they won't stock it. They'd want to order a full packing, so in which case you just order like 2 or 3 sheets or whatever off eBay, and it'll generally come within a day or two. Would be my recommendation. Yes, that's it. Yeah, XPS, underfloor heating. And we've had a couple of things recently. I ordered a couple of bits in to try something out for the shop. So a couple of places you can generally order a sample for about £1, and they'll send you like a small section, maybe like 4 or 5 inches square, so you can test it for whatever you want to make sure that the density and what have you is right, because there's so many different types now that you don't want to get the wrong thing. Right. What do I want?
I don't know.
What do I want next? Let's do something with this sword. I did say that we were going to like call it a night, no, but let's do something with this sword. So we're going to go back to our Vallejo Model Air steel for the sword, and I've still got some of that blue ink that I used, which is still a little bit damp over here. So I'm going to mix a little bit of that blue ink in with the what on there? Mix a bit of that blue ink in with our steel, just to give it a slightly blue hue.
Blue hue.
There we go. Super. And then
You have to show him off. I don't think we've actually seen him yet.
hmm,
Killing him backwards.
thank you for following. Thank you. Can you see him alright? Can't see him because he's behind my face. There we go. So we're going to get a little bit of this and just paint this onto the higher areas of the sword. So this is a mixture of the ink that I used, the blue ink with the steel wash mix, and Vallejo Model Air steel. So got this nice kind of bluey steel colour, and just going to apply that to the raised edges of the sword. Thank you, Moxie. It's very kind of you to say so. Just drag a bit more of that in.
Are we using any techniques to get the raised edges, or?
No, I'm just following around the edges of the weapon, and then there's a couple of kind of obvious lines to follow. Around the edge of the thing. Now I might, having seen what this is starting to look like now, I might just give it another thin wash once this has dried, because I think I've made it too stark. We'll see what it looks like when I've done the whole sword. Right, so it looked really dark with the wash over, and then I think I've made this slightly too bright. I think I should have gone a little bit darker. Don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Harder on that side that I've just done because it's kind of behind the genie's body. So I don't want to make the whole thing look the same because it would be in shadow from his body.
So what made you choose the colours that you've chosen then? What made you decide that those colours, what were you going to go with?
They came to me in a dream. Yeah, I knew I wanted to do the skin this kind of light blue after seeing a couple of other people's painted examples. Thought like that it would look nice in this kind of shade, and I knew I wanted to do the armour copper in colour, and then I wasn't originally planning on doing the sword like a metallic-y blue, and then that's just kind of come. It's just, I don't know, I didn't want to do it just normal bright steel because he's a mythical magical creature. So I wanted to do it something a little bit more interesting, shall we say. Sharon says that she needs to practice more. I'm guessing that must make true metal, but needs to practice more everything. But yeah, we've seen your painting, Sharon. It's awesome.
Put yourself down.
Absolutely. And Moxie's making a start on his Reichenbach Falls diorama. Is that with your Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty? Moriarty, isn't it? Moriarty, not Moriarty. That's...
I just thought you were doing something.
Yeah, oh, yeah. It's... I can't remember what that's from, even. But there's a thing where that's what they call him. And they're one of these, like, kind of spoofy things. Moriarty. 'Cause, 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 ' paintbrush.
A
Let's
smaller paintbrush?
Yeah, before I switch over, let's have a look at yours. So this is Mrs. MLG's art work for this evening. Well, past couple of days, really. So yeah, it's alright. I'm going to lift her up a bit closer. Here we go. So this is Madame Delia from the Bones 5 Brinewind expansion, I believe. I think she looks fantastic, darling. Yeah, really, really good. This is she's absolutely fantastic. I love the feathers; they're awesome. Moxie says, "Love it, brilliant."
Will it do, Moxie? Will it do?
Looks fantastic, doesn't it, guys? It's really nice. There you go. Sharon says, "Looks fantastic." Yeah, she looks awesome. Good baby. Right, I'm going to switch over to this teeny tiny brush and do some fine highlighting on my sword. So this is Vallejo Model Air Steel that we're using. This bright silver, and it's a very thin paint, which is why I like it. So it's designed for an airbrush, obviously. I like to brush paint it on. It leaves a really nice, smooth finish. Silver. We do a chrome as well. We've got the chrome, but I find that isn't quite as bright as I would like it. I prefer this, to be honest. Haven't tried any of the Green Stuff World chrome out yet. That's supposed to be a true chrome finish, so you can't put anything over the top of it. Give that a whirl at some point.
What kind of voice has she got then, Sharon? What kind of voice is Madame Delia got? She like a very high pitched. I can't do very high pitched. Very high pitched. I've enjoyed the party, my dear. Like that, or is that not high enough?
I was miles away concentrating on the tiny silver lines. So just giving the edges just with the I don't like that. Just with the side of the brush, a tiny little running over on the edges of the sword and the raised areas, just to give it a little bit of definition. And then just need to get a little bit of that there. That's a little bit of the darker blue. So that's a mixture of this silver, the Vallejo Model Air Steel. Used it all. Just Vallejo Model Air Steel and steel wash and blue ink. So we're just going to have to mix up a tiny little bit more of that, just so I can replicate it. So this is an old Citadel blue ink that I've had for years. I'm just going to put a couple of brushfuls of steel wash in. mix those together, getting this nice darky, dark blue wash, and then get a bit of that into that Model Air steel. There we go, something like that. Let's just mix all that together. I am. So this is the brush that I'm using to mix this is an old Citadel starter brush, which is a bit of a horror brush just for Wicked Day, which is still in it. So this is a bit splayed at the ends, but I'll just use it for mixing paint, that one, and applying basing materials and things.
My mixing brush is worse than yours.
Yeah, just a bit.
That's
Yeah.
my mixing brush. That's got to be worse than your mixing brush.
Yeah. Is that? Oh yeah, that's a Citadel starter brush as well. Yeah. Super. Right, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of wash with the silver in that we've just added. Just going to apply a little bit of that into the heavier sections of the sword, where I've overdone it slightly with the silvers. One good thing about painting minis, you can always go back and sort out your mistakes. If you don't apply your colours too thickly even, you can...
Always go back and sort out when you chucked your mini across your palette and got all the paint all over it.
Yeah, landed in face first down in the gold.
It's worth just watching the VOD just for your face when you did that.
Why was it?
Well, you weren't happy. Let's put it that way. I mean, obviously family friendly. There was no swearing, but there definitely was a unhappy face. But then you had spent all that time doing the highlights and then rammed him through all the wet paint.
Yeah, 'tis true. 'Tis true. Right then, how does that look? Yeah, he's laid back. So how does that look? How does that sword look? Does that look okay?
I like your sword, my darling. What colour are you doing, like his hair and stuff?
So that was going to be, I was going to do it like a dark grey up to a white. Yeah, and I still haven't decided what colour I'm going to paint his bottle there. Because I was conscious about having too many different colours going on. Well, I think now I've just finished with the sword, I think that we might call it night.
So we do normally finish at 9 and it's currently 9:35. So he has got slightly carried away.
Yeah.
But you see, when you're painting minis, having so much fun.
Because lovely Reaper Raiders came. And we didn't
It's
want
very
to,
nice to see the new people.
Finish straight away once we've... so yeah, there's this evening's progress. So we've got like metallics done and almost finished. And we'll get him finished next week. So our next stream is on Sunday. We're doing Skyrim Sunday at 4 PM. And where myself and Little Miss MLG play through Skyrim. We're currently level 41, I think, and are, as usual, carrying far too much stuff to run, and killing loads of bad guys and dying to ancient dragons. That's what's happening on there. And then we'll be back on Monday, where we'll be starting painting a brand new mini from one of our wonderful sub boxes. So here you go, here's a quick preview. This is what we painted the other day. I just need to finish his base off, but the other day we painted the marvellous Reaper Griffin 77157. Need to finish his base. But there we go, that was what we did on Monday this week. So join us next week. Thank you everybody for stopping by, and we hope that we will see you all soon.
Thank you everyone, it's great to see you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.